What's up, guys? SteelFrodo here. So I was stressing all week this week after the whole issue where Dimension W wasn't working, and I was working a lot of hours, and I wasn't going to have time to make a vlog, and something vlog-worthy just kind of plopped in my lap. So if you guys follow me on Twitter and Instagram, you'll know that I started a restoring project on a white iMac, and I got it working, and I was super, super proud. You know, it's been a long time since I've done any sort of computer restoration, and especially on a Mac, because most people think of Macs as non-upgradable pieces of garbage, or just non-upgradable in general, not so much pieces of garbage. What am I on about? Oh, yes. This, will it show it? Yeah. This is a 2009, I think? Something like that. It's an old iMac, but it's not that old. It's actually younger than the white iMac that I was doing a project on. So, oh, Blair. The cool thing is with that means that I'm going to be able to actually work on another iMac, another restoration. And this one is openable as well, serviceable. So I can actually pop the front off, do all the work I need to on the insides if there's something wrong with it. The guy said that it didn't fire up, and it was actually a customer that I had helped at Best Buy. I had helped them a lot, with a lot of stuff. Got them a new MacBook, got them all this new cool stuff, and they love it. And to show their thanks, they gave me their old, broken iMac. Are they just using me as a dumpster? No, but in all seriousness, it's actually really cool, because this is actually a really good iMac for its time, and I cannot wait to start trying to work on it and restoring it, because this thing has so much capability for its age that I really think that if I can get this working, I may use it as my full-time streaming PC, because it may actually be able to handle that if I use the Elgato. If not, just a full-time capture device for my old console setup, if I can get it to work. That's the biggest thing. So follow me, won't you? And we're going to try to get this thing to work. This is a 24-inch 1920 by 1200, so actually a higher resolution than our 2016 iMac that we have over in the office. This is another iMac. I think this is like a late 2009, something like that. It's the one where before they did the full aluminum, there was aluminum on the front and then a black plastic back. So, guy said it didn't work, and I'm assuming based on the dust collection, that it doesn't work. And I'm wondering if part of that's from heating. So, first things first, I'm going to plug it in, fire it up, and see if it actually starts, and if it does, what he thought was broken. If it doesn't, figure out what doesn't work. And I'm really hoping it fires up on the first try, because this is probably the only Mac, literally the only Mac. Yeah, the only Mac that I don't know how to disassemble without a guide. Every other Mac I've been able to take apart without needing a guide to. I don't know how to do that with this monstrosity. So if it doesn't start up, it'll be a new adventure for everybody. So let's see here. Made a noise. I didn't do anything. I plugged it in. Alright, sure. I'm getting a very stained yellowish white screen. So it definitely is not the happiest backlit display. If I remember correctly, there should be a recovery mode for these, so I'm going to try to do that. So for those of you who don't know, I've been working on computers, building computers, doing lots of work with computers since I was probably 13. I would take broken computers from school, I would disassemble them, take them from the garbage, take them from wherever, figure out what parts were broken, and put them all together with the working parts, and I would have one whole working computer. My first working computer was, I think, a combination of about 4 different broken computers. So I've been working on computers for a very long time, and I found my love of Macs because they were just, software-wise, they were a lot easier to work on than most. Hardware-wise, up until the most recent designs, they were also easy to work on, but some models have a recovery mode built into the board, so you don't need a hard drive or anything like that. Others, not so much. So we're about to figure out which one that is. So it looks like it actually did have a recovery mode. Well, that's something. Now I just gotta wait for it to get into the recovery mode. So ideally, if it is able to boot properly into the recovery mode, chances are the OS was corrupted, operating system, was corrupted, or something along those lines, which means that I could actually recover this and make it into a fine computer. Chances are I'm still going to take it apart because that's just fun to do, and I've never taken one of these apart before, so if it works, break it. And if you break it, fix it so you know how to work with it. Yeah. So it's sitting here kind of flickering on and off with a black and white screen, as you guys just saw. So I got my iPad here. I'm going to try to... Ugh, that's not a good sign. I'm going to try and search and see what is going on with this iMac. I honestly don't know at this point what's going to happen, because this is not a machine that I've worked with very often. This is actually way too new for me. So if you can ignore the water sounds going on, because I think they're washing the dishes upstairs, which I should be helping with, but I'm not, because I'm busy doing this. So it looks like, as odd as this seems, well, I got in, I got the DVD drive, I've got the hard drive itself, which I don't know if it's an HDD, a hard disk drive, or an SSD, a solid state drive. I'm sorry as well for anybody who's watching this who knows what these terms mean. I'm not trying to sound like I'm making it stupid for all of you, but I'm trying to at least make it understandable for everyone. But I've gotten to the hard drive, and I've never seen this before. So the entire hard drive is filled with other, which means that something's wrong with the hard drive. Very wrong. Very wrong with the hard drive. Because it should be able to read out, like, audio, photos, available, and all that broken out properly, and it's not. And there's a disk image on it, or something. Oh no, that's my flash drive. Never mind, that's me. That's me. But it's a Hitachi HD T72 whatever. And it's got a disk drive as well, with an AppleCare Protection Plan CD. What? Hold on. No. Oh, you're kidding. Wait. Is it gonna do it? Wait for it. I don't think it's gonna do it. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to entirely wipe this hard drive out, like completely blow it away. Because the advantage is, with this, there's a recovery mode built into the board itself, which means that even if I completely removed the hard drive, I would still have this interface to come back to in the case that something extremely bad happened, because this is built into the computer, not built into the hard drive, if that makes sense. So I did a dumb and didn't even think about... So Macs are weird with the way they handle hard drive. I'm talking very loud because I feel like I have to, but after playing back the video, I realized the mic on this is picking me up pretty well, so I'm going to tone it back so I'm not yelling at you guys. But I did realize, which is kind of funny, the way Apple manages their files and the way they manage their boot volumes and mounting drives and all that fun stuff is there's two options. There's the physical unit itself, so I don't know if it's going to pick that up, but there's the physical unit itself, which is the hard drive. And then there's the partition. There's the, what I named Macintosh HD, which is now completely wiped. It's got 638.52 gigabytes free, which for 2009 is actually pretty good. You could get up to a terabyte in this if you wanted to. But anyway, what I was getting at, so I hit eject on that, and I realized after I hit eject that I hit eject on the disk, which unmounted the disk, meaning it removed the disk from the software, but it didn't eject the disk because I didn't tell the hardware to eject it. So let's see if the disk drive works and it kicks out the drive, or kicks out the disk. Maybe. Look at that. 2008 Apple Inc. All rights reserved. Apple, the Apple logo, and AppleCare are trademarks of Apple Inc. registered in the US and other countries. I got a protection plan that's worth nothing, but it's cool. It's a cool disc to have, which is why I'm wondering now why I threw it across my workbench. So if you guys are like me, if any of you are like me, and you learn by implementing something and not just having it explained to you, let me show you why it's important that this has a built-in recovery system on the board instead of having a built-in recovery system on the hard drive. So I'm going to show you guys why this is important. So in here, this is disk utilities. This is where you see all of the info on the hard drives. You can see this is the physical hard drive itself, and this is how much space I've used. It's empty, completely wiped clean, which means there is nothing on this. It's just like a BIOS on a computer, but with a BIOS, instead of having all the very basic text and not so pretty fonts and no interface almost, you actually still have software to run off of. So what does that mean? Well, if I close this and I go up here to the Wi-Fi, I can connect to my guest network. Nobody peek, I'm going to type in my password. Alright, so now, I don't know if you can see it, it's way up there in the corner, but I'm actually connected to Wi-Fi without even being in any sort of operating system. I'm nowhere right now. If this were Inception, I'm in limbo right now. There is nothing, I have nothing, but I still have something. So now I can actually double click on reinstall Mac OS, even though, again, there is literally nothing on this computer. I can double click on install Mac OS, click continue, download and restore Mac OS 10. Your computer's eligibility will be verified with Apple. Hit continue. And again, nothing on the hard drive. This is all being done system-based, meaning it's being done on the board, not on the computer, not on the hard drive, if that makes sense. And now, all I gotta do is pick the drive, hit install, and it's gonna ask me to sign into the Apple Store or the App Store, so that's no big deal. So I can just log in here. Again, I'm gonna stop the camera while I do this. Alright, so now that I've done that, it's gonna send me a validation code. For any of you wondering, you should, if you have the option, set up two-step authentication with any device you have, because what that does is that means that you are going to be able to verify every device that logs in, because it's going to send you a code. This is technical stuff, but it's stuff that's really worth investing the time in. And, well, now we wait for it to finish up. So I'll see you guys back here in, for you, a couple seconds. Me, 3 hours, 43 minutes, 1 hour, 44, 50, blah, blah, blah. See you guys in a minute or so. Alright, so this is actually really awesome. So it looks like the extent of the damage to the system was just a really terribly, terribly corrupted Mac OS. I don't know how that would have happened. And the guy was like, yeah, you can have it as long as you wipe the drive, and, well, I kind of had to wipe the drive in order to make it work. So, just fell asleep as I did that. That was perfect timing, but yeah, I'm going to sit here listening to the Ruby soundtrack, and on my iPad, sit here listening to the Ruby soundtrack, drinking some beer, and setting the computer up, and then I'm going to take it apart, which I don't recommend you drink when taking a computer apart unless you've been doing it as long as I have, because when you know the rules, you can break the rules. That's how that works. And there we go. I'm in macOS Sierra, and apparently I've got several accounts that need to be set up in an external. Oh, that's my flash drive. Wow, it found a lot of accounts, actually. I found a whole lot of accounts, and my scroll ball doesn't work, which is pretty common on a mouse this age. Probably actually take a lot of these parts apart and clean them. So, not bad. For a computer this age, let's find the specs, actually. I'm really curious to see what this thing's packing. Ooh. Okay. Actually, it's not terrible. It's not as bad as I thought it'd be. It's an early 2009 24-inch iMac. It's got GeForce 9400 with 256 megabytes of video memory. So this thing is packing heat. 4 gigabytes of RAM, which I can change, actually. Let's take a look at... no, stop. take a look at what I can get at OWC for this. OWC RAM. OWC is Otherworld Computing. They actually have some really cool stuff for RAM. The display is 1920 by 1200, so it's actually taller than a 1080p screen. So this is actually really a really good display. Almost nothing for storage. The RAM is not bad. It's two 2GB RAM sticks. You can actually feel the cold air coming into the bottom, which is cool. Support, service overview. The processor is a 2.66 gigahertz Intel Core 2 Duo. So it's a fairly modern Core 2 Duo system. Where am I going? There we go. I can actually see, you're not going to be able to see it here, but you can actually see the 2 cores working away there in the middle. Only 2 cores, no hyper-threading. Hyper-threading essentially lets the processor do 2 tasks at once. That's not what I wanted to do. Lets the processor do 2 tasks at once, or each core do 2 tasks at once. I'm repeating myself now. But this doesn't have hyper-threading, so it's 2 cores, and that's it. So no special fancy tricks to boost the speed or anything like that. It is just 2 cores. Make do with it or go home. So I'm gonna dig a little deeper, see how much a RAM upgrade costs on this thing, see if I can actually upgrade the RAM, because if I can, that will make my day, because I think this will hold up to 8 gigabytes. If I remember correctly, this will hold up to 8 gigabytes. And I will absolutely put 8 gigabytes in that if it's gonna not cost me anything ridiculous. 60 bucks, I could probably find it cheaper at like Corsair. So I'm going to shop around a bit. I like how I'm shopping on my iPad, but I could probably actually go online with this, because I did hook it to my Wi-Fi network. So let's see what it does. I can go online. It works. So let's see. Let's go to apple.com and see how it works. Ta-da! Perfect. So it works. I don't know what the problem was, because I ran first aid on the drive. No, I didn't want to close disk. Damn it! I didn't want to close disk utilities. Yeah, it's interesting. I ran the first aid on the disk, and nothing happened. Disk seems to be in perfect running health. So I'm just gonna see if there's anything else I need to fix, or if it's good. Because if it's good, my plans for this is to set it over by my classic computer, or my classic game console collection, and use this as a dedicated capture system. But first things first, I gotta clean it, because it's kind of like when you get a car. You get the car running first, then you pretty it up. I wanted to get this running first to make sure it functioned, then clean it up. So I'm gonna do that now. So unfortunately, even though I planned to tear this apart, 2 things. I suppose as a testament to the way Apple used to build a lot of their more solid machines. Apart from the North Bridge, which seems to be running kind of warm, but not anything major, the system itself seems to be running fairly cool. The CPU itself is at a cool 41 degrees Celsius. The heatsink itself is 40. I mean, I can feel some heat coming through the display, but that's because these were notoriously hot displays, which is probably why it's somewhat discolored. The GPU... I don't even know if the GPU shows up in the system monitor. By the way, if you guys ever want a really good Mac temperature monitor, download iStat Pro. It's a free widget that I use for pretty much everything. Every machine that I own has iStat Pro in it, so I can monitor RAM, which has all but run out because this only has 4 gigs of it. So I'm going to close that. Oh, wait, no, shoot. Oh, I just closed like 5 things. Damn it. Probably freed up a ton of RAM. Hey, I got 870 megs back. But anyway, download iStats Pro. The problem is, what I was going to say, what I started the recording for, was the fact that I'm not going to be able to take this apart, at least in this vlog. And the reason being is because I was looking at how to take it apart on my iPad here, and this display, I forgot about this. So essentially you undo the one Phillips screw on the bottom that holds the RAM cards in, and after that you take suction cups and stick them corner to corner and pull the display straight up, and it will actually lift off because it's held in by 4 heavy-duty neodymium magnets around the corners. Then you undo 4 Torx 8 screws, long Torx 8 screws, and 8 shorter 13mm screws around the sides. Then you lift the panel out, disconnect the webcam wire and microphone cable, then you undo the actual display cable itself. Then that should actually lift the aluminum chassis out as well. So the aluminum chassis should lift... the aluminum chassis lifts off first, then you undo the mic and display and all that. Then the display lifts out and you have access to everything. Oh, you gotta remove power. I don't know why I'm reading this to you guys, but anyway, that's how you get to the main board, and I'm stopped by the fact that I have no suction cups to take this off, and I don't know where my Torx screwdriver set is. So I'm kind of stuck at leaving this as is for the moment, which kind of bums me out, but I got it working, which makes me really happy. The only thing that concerns me is I guarantee you that the thermal paste that was on the GPU and CPU systems are now thermal chalk because they have dried up over the course of the past 7 years since this machine was purchased. And the other thing that blows me away is this machine that was given to me, and this, again, a lot of you guys are asking, you know, how I get into the stuff that I do and how I got the hardware I got, and people have asked me that, and some of the stuff I was fortunate enough that it was given to me. When you start pursuing something that you genuinely have a passion for, people start to give you things they don't want anymore, and you can build from that. I mean, heck, a friend of mine helped me build half of the workstation I use on a daily basis, so don't be afraid to ask and just do things you enjoy, and stuff will start to kind of come to you. It's pretty wild, but this machine that was given to me, when it was bought brand new back in 2009, this thing would have run, with the configuration it's in right now, this would have been about an $1,800 computer, so $1,800 computer pre-tax, which is pretty wild. It's got a disk drive, it's got 3, they're standard USB 2s, they're not USB 3s, which is unfortunate, but beggars can't be choosers. Firewire 800, for you people who know what Firewire 800 is, an Ethernet jack, a display port, standard display port, and those 2 are probably audio in. For those of you who don't know what I'm doing, I'm feeling the back of the computer because there's nothing on the front, nice clean front, but they do have ports on the back. I think I've used all 3 of the USB ports. Nope, there's 1 left. Yeah, I've been at this long enough that I can tell the ports by feel. Anyway, but I was actually going to mess around with the speakers a little bit and see how they sound, because the speakers on this thing were known for being fairly decent for the time. I don't know how they aged, but let's listen to some colors and carousels and see. They're better than the 2006. Alright, well, before I do anything embarrassing like dancing in front of the camera or anything like that, this is pretty much going to be it, unfortunately, but I had fun doing this. I wish I could have torn it down a bit more and actually gotten more into the guts of it. I guess, unfortunately, due to my lack of tools, that's not going to happen, but I did remember what I was going to do before I finished, which was test the disk speed test, run the disk speed test, sorry, because based on how this whole thing, based on how everything ran with this, I can almost guarantee that this is not a solid-state drive, just because, based on the speeds, there's no way it could possibly be a solid-state. I haven't finished much of this, I promise, and I've only had 2. Oh, I thought I typed it in right. But anyway, I can almost guarantee this isn't a solid-state drive. It's probably a 640 gigabyte standard drive, which is fine. If it is a little too slow, like 5400 RPM, I can bump it up to a 7200 and just swap the drives out later. But yeah, that's it. So let's see. Alright, so let's see how bad this disk speed is. And, oh, no. Oh, that is terrible. Oh, that is so bad. Oh God. I got a lot of work to do. Yeah, I'm gonna be replacing this hard drive. That's just unacceptable. Oh my God, no. Oh. Well, I don't know what I was expecting. So with those fun results, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you guys in the next vlog. Make sure to be there and have a good one.